Starten, want we moeten echt starten.
Ja.
Trainingsleden.
Geen idee.
Ja.
Het gaat over 3 minuten starten. Ja.
Ja, oké.
Even wachten dan.
Oké.
Where are you staying right now?
Please explain why you gave this rating.
Ja. Het gaat over 3 minuten starten. Ja. Oh, wacht, dat moet ik even fixen.
Het is alleen vars.
Ja, ik zie het.
Wat dacht je daarvan? Wat dacht je daarvan?
Ja, excellent. Thank you. Dat is nu helemaal, we hebben helemaal, heb je een prachtige evaluatie gegeven.
Goed zo, alsjeblieft.
Oké. Ik ga naar de...
Dan heb ik een koekje verdiend, zo is dat.
Ja, 2 koekjes.
Nee, ik hoef geen tweede.
Nee, nog eentje. Nee. Dan gaan we er eentje.
Misschien moet je draaien, de telefoon.
Wacht even. Ja. Hij doet het.
Koffie, thee.
Ik laat hem natuurlijk niet daar staan, maar ik was even aan het checken of hij het deed. Oké, dus we zijn nu live dan? Yeah, we are live now.
I have to answer.
English,
They'll need to
15 minutes and we finish it. It's
Okay.
not so long, thanks. 15 minutes?
15.
Oh, okay.
Daar ben ik weer weg, want ik heb een volgende verhaal. Ik zat hier al een tijdje, dus ja. Ik heb tegen Kees gezegd, ik doe mijn best om dat te zijn, maar ik ga niet blijven.
Because, yes.
Okay, it's almost 3 o'clock. In a few seconds, it is 3 o'clock. So welcome everybody, also people watching us. Welcome in this meeting. It's only a small meeting here because we don't have much place, but it is, well, for the internet, everybody can join. Very welcome to Rekaya, who is here today to give a presentation about the refugees in North African area. We're happy that you're here from Tunisia, and well,
You're welcome.
the floor is yours.
You're welcome, Koen. Yesterday we were talking about the Sub-Saharan refugee. They come from African, South African, or not South African, but the Sub-Saharan after the desert to the North African. It will be, this is the subject today, and like introduction, I will starting by the sharing of statement in the title of UNHCR, UN and NMC report that when they announced it on this journey, no one cares if you lie or die. Which revealed that the number of deaths of people migrating through the Sahara Desert is way larger than they reported, and estimated to be larger than the number reported of deaths in the Mediterranean Sea, making a graveyard for this migrant with little to inexistent humanitarian intervention. The cause of death, can you just slide, okay. The cause of death differ from accident to starvation, dehydration to violence. Over than 80% of Sub-Saharan migrants in North Africa reported experiencing violence, robbery, sexual violence, extortion, or imprisonment. During their journey with the Sahara Desert, Libya and Mali among the most dangerous location. Like you see here, that migrants road smart highlighting that high-risk zone. They arrived from Mali and from Libya and other countries, of course, but the most risky way there are those two countries. Why that these issues matters? Refugees in North Africa are criminalized instead of protected. They are detained, deported, and even left in the desert rather than given asylum. The world is turning a blind eyes. Okay. Yeah. Media focus in the Mediterranean crossing, but the real crisis happened before they even reached the sea. Despite international human rights law brutally against Sub-Saharan refugee continues unchecked and their rights remain inexistent. I am Rekaya Hafi. Today I'm a humanitarian activist and entrepreneur committed to justice, equality and intercultural solidarity. My goal today is to challenge the perception that these migrants are criminals and still they are victims of systematic failure, exploitation and indifference. So today we look through the root causes of the migration, the harsh reality in transit, then the suggested long and short-term solution, and finally what role can we play in bringing change. Then why do Sub-Saharan Africans migrate? We know all the true reason of migrate, but we go fastly in those causes. Extremely poverty and unemployment, this is the first causes. Many countries in Sub-Saharan Africans struggle with extremely poverty. Young people can't find jobs, leaving them with no hope for the future. With no way to survive, many live in search of better opportunities. Second, maybe they have a lot, but I take only 4 examples: colonial legacy and foreign exploitation. Colonization left Africa economy weak and dependent of others. Today, big foreign companies take Africans' natural resources like oil and minerals, but don't share the benefits. This keeps many countries poor and unstable. Third one, and I see that's more important, that's the corruption and political mismanagement. Many governments fail to provide basic needs like school, jobs, and security. Corrupt leaders steal money instead of using it to help their people. In some countries, political instability and harsh government force people to escape. The fourth one, and this is to the climate change. Climate change, that's droughts, floods, and desert expansion destroy homes and farms. Example, the Sahel region is turning into desert.
I'm just adding him, but can you maybe just mute your mic? I'm so sorry. Hi. Can you hear us?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi everyone.
Hi, Dr. Yari.
Welcome. You can introduce yourself in a minute if you can just join us for now, and then once it's your time, you can have your introduction. Yeah?
Can you?
But just mute your microphone if you could.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think we can continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The harsh reality in transit for many migrants North Africa is supposed to be just to stop on their journey, but instead of a path to safe, it becomes a deadly trap. The danger they face don't end at the desert, they continue at very step. Deadly migration routes, many die from thirst, exhaustion, or violence. Smugglers take advantage of desperate migrants, often leaving them standing in the desert. Abuse by authority and criminal group. Instead of helping, many governments arrested deport of abused migrants. Local militias, gang and smugglers also rob and traffic refugees. Example, in North Africa, detention centers are like prison. Migrants are tortured and even sold as slaves. More poverty and difficult living conditions. Even those who survive the journey face terrible conditions. Many are forced to work in harsh jobs for little pay just to save enough money for a bus to Europe. They sleep in overcrowded rooms, sometimes 20% or more people in a tiny space, or worse, they have no shuttle at all. Employers take advantage of their desperation, making them do exhausting labor for extremely low wage. With no proper food, medical care, or legal protection, they are trapped in a cycle of suffering. Racism and xenophobia, this is another reason. Black migrants face racism and discrimination in North Africa. Example, Facebook groups are created to face the settlement, as North Africa society call it, and no migration of the Sub-Saharan. Outcome, committed crime by some migrants in North Africa due to mistreatment and harsh conditions, especially those who have been brought back from the Mediterranean Sea. This is the most person that do a lot of problem there. That's if you thought together that sometimes he crossed 2,000 or 3,000 miles to be in the North Africa to catch his dream, and when he comes, he have a dream. And he comes, he go to Tunisia, he feel that, oh, he will catch the dream soon, and when he go on the boat, they arrested him and he put him in the jail, example. That will be crazy, and he will be, even he can kill, and no one, he can understand that. Only the person, he crossed all this desert, and he risked his life. Anyway, that's the legal and political failure. No legal protection. North African country except Morocco do not have strong asylum system. Refugees are criminalized, detained, or deported instead of protected. The European Union role in this crisis. The European Union fund North African government to stop migration at all costs. The European Union pay to intercept boats and return refugees to horrific detention centers instead of helping Western policies worsen the suffering of migrants. Criminality is the consequence of violence, exploitation, and systemic neglect, not the choice of migrants. What can be done in this? We have to, for me, that's Rekaya Hafi, I thought they have short-term and immediate solution, that like you gave for refugee legal protection. North African countries should stop treating refugees like criminals and allow them to apply for asylum. Second, the United Nations and aid group must be allowed to help migration safely. And detention and abuse that close illegal prison for migrants in North African and other transit countries. Stop abandoning refugees in desert without help. Provide humanitarian aid. More funding should go to shelter, food, and medical care for migrants. Extra protection and regulation is needed for women and children to prevent violence and trafficking. Stop Europeans' role in the crisis. The European Union should stop paying North African countries to block migrants with violent tactics, and they should have another solution for them not to block the immigrants in the sea and make their eyes blind. Long-term big picture for this solution, I see that fix the root causes of migration. African economy need fairer policy that help local people instead of letting foreign companies take all the resources. Rich countries must stop exploiting African while ignoring the suffering of its peoples. Support good governance and fight corruption. African nations need more support for democracy and anti-corruption effort. Investing in education and job programs can help reduce forced immigration. Climate action for Africa, you know that countries that cause the most pollution must help African nations adapt to climate change, because you know that's the climate change in Africa because the pollution of some countries in the world, and those must pay for this country to make sure for agriculture, for development on their country. More sustainable farming and rural development projects are needed. Change the way we see migrants. Refugees are people, not threats. They should not be treated as criminals. The media and education system should help fight racism and misinformation about migration. The graph shows that You see the graph here? We did it at home with my daughter. That the graph shows that as foreign companies take more resources from Africa, Africa's economy struggle to grow. This means that the wealth from their resource is not helping African countries but benefiting outside instead. You see here the foreign resource with the red color, and the other you see that's African GDP growing. How this is go down, down, and the other you see that, and between 2014 to 23. Yeah, European civil society here from awareness to action, how we can move together. Public awareness and solidarity, raising awareness through education and media, encouraging people to get involved, and pushing for political action can create real change. The NGO and the grassroots response. The NGOs and local groups should help North African countries support refugees, promote development in Sub-Saharan Africa through volunteering, provide medical and trauma care, and building dialogue for better understanding and cooperation. The needs for in European Union rescue program. The European Union needs a humanitarian rescue program to prevent migrant deaths, as over 20,000 people have died since Mar Nostrum ended in 2024. The Mare Solidari, it's Italian, proposal offer a new rescue initiative, but the European Union currently spends 183 times more on border security than what's needed for such of program. This raises a critical question here. Is the European Union prioritizing border control over saving lives of people? This is my question. Call for action. The crisis is not migration itself. The crisis is our failure to protect those fleeing for their lives. A human rights-based approach is the only path forward. Government, international organizations, and civil society must act now before more lives are lost. This is my proposal today, my presentation, and thank you for all.
So maybe we have some questions. I have a question anyway. You say that what the things we have to do is to prevent people in Africa to go to Europe, to make life better in African countries. But what we see in the governments nowadays is that they don't want these Africans to come to Europe, but they also don't want to help these countries in Africa. They want to take away all the help that they give them. So it is a bit.
The volcano will be exploded soon, you know.
Yes. So there should be more awareness about this, but I don't know how we get this.
No matter, that's the world now is crazy and it's changing.
Yes.
Yesterday is Las Vegas, they are fire, and today maybe the Africans are suffering. But who knows the next move? That's before we die, that we ask ourselves what we did for Africa, the Sub-Saharan, because those people, they arrived from suffering, from fighting, from tribe together, from war, and they are really suffering from a lot of causes today. And when they cross, that when cross this desert, they have a dream to catch, they direct at this dream. But the question here, we are believer and we scared about die, But for believers, they know this is religion is like drugs. They make us believe that we have a God and we will be returned in this life after. For no religion, they are scared. And for the Sub-Saharan people, they never scared about die, even they are not believer, because they almost feel they are dying, and they have to make sure one of those. They will cross the desert to die or to live. If you have this in your heart and your spirit, then you are never scared about anything. For that, we see them, they are so aggressive. They say aggressive when they have a dream, they cross all this desert and they come to the sea, and when they come to the sea, you stop it there. It's that this goal of European people to make these people die in the desert
So
or
if
die
they-
in the
if,
sea.
if they are more aware of the risk, even if they know about many risks, even in the Sahara, but also on the Mediterranean Sea, even if they are aware of this,
Yeah.
they still will come.
But you see that the person they die in the desert, they are under report. That means they are maybe 10 times than die in the sea. Because in the sea, the media focus, because the European, they like see what is happening in the sea, but they never knows what happened in the desert because they don't care.
We have no figures about
No.
the numbers of death in the deserts.
Yeah, you don't, because they're not benefits on intelligence for European country who
Yes.
have the media, who person they can see.
Yeah.
Only the European here, they can, yes.
Is not one of the problems that they are far too optimistic, and he is a Sub-Saharan people, about their future in Europe. Even if they cross the Sahara, even if they cross the Mediterranean, they come here in Europe. It's not paradise, and they think it's paradise.
This is the, you know, that's so complicated, yes, but it's related with such people. They cross the sea and comes here in Europe, and they take picture, do video, and they present it up like this is paradise or heaven. And what's make the other people, they like to have the same. You know that some people, they fail here to do or to integrate with the society here, but they like show the other they are successful, and this is a psychology case. With that, they send this picture, they are between the flower, between women, between that, and that's make the other they like comes here. But what is the role of European country here? That first, they go there, they listen for these people. They have so intelligent people there. They have a leader. They have a person, they have a dream. If you listen to them like human, like us, like you, and you see how these people, they are intelligent and they like change in their country. But they have one reason they can't do that, because they don't have authority and the corruption of their leaders. That these leaders, they are corrupted together with these countries, with European Union, because they change the money between each other, and the people, they suffer about a lot of what we see now that's happening about this cause.
Okay, do we more questions or do we?
I have to leave.
Oh, you have to leave.
I have to leave.
Thank you, Hanneke.
Yeah,
Hanneke.
I'm sorry, but
You have
keep in
questions, I
touch.
guess.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
We do, huh?
Yeah, of course. I
Thank
have,
you
know,
for the information, and
Yes,
well,
you
we stay in
know,
touch.
Today she thought she will know
Yeah.
Africa through my eyes. And today, that's it. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mr. Yar is here.
Yeah. Can you please, Rekaya, introduce Dr. Ayari to us?
Yes.
I think that he is mouth and he can introduce himself for me.
Hi, yeah, my name is Lauset Ayari. The full name is Mohammed Lauset Ayari. Lauset means the middle one, and I go by Lauset. I'm a dual citizen of the U.S. and of Tunisia, and I have been in the U.S. for the last 40 years, in North America for 40 years now. I taught, and I am a practicing engineer right now. I'm a consultant in the aerospace industry. I'm very familiar with the Netherlands. I had my training for my internship as an engineer, and the first country I ever visited out of Tunisia was the Netherlands. And I had such a great experience working on the Oosterschelde Dam, be part of that big endeavor. And it opened my eyes to the outside world, and I have by now I accumulated a good understanding of both African culture and Northern African culture and Western culture. And I thank you, Rekaya, and I thank you, Arab West, for putting together this opportunity. This is an important matter to you, understandably, and also it's an important matter to us as we tend to get an equal footing with the Western countries and get to that level. We have been behind for a couple of centuries. But let me say one thing. I know that African people are very capable. I succeeded in the US as a technical person. I know the might of the engineering and capabilities of the Netherlands. I have colleagues from Delft University, and I know the level of achievement they got to, and I think I'm in line with what Rekaya is saying. It's probably high noon time for the European Union to go back to Africa as an entity that will guide Africa back to where it should be now, given the history that we have, the common history that we have, and the problem of the Sahara is massive. It's not reported in the news because we don't collect bodies on the shores, and we don't have boats that can film whatever is happening. Thank you, Rekaya, for putting the spotlight on our people and their suffering. I asked Rekaya to put a number. She said, I can't be rational in deriving a number. But let me put it this way. It's probably not in the tens of thousands, but in the hundreds of thousands. Lots of people are perishing in that desert. So whatever, and it's not because we don't see it, it's not there. It is there. Let me say one thing. Africa is still raw in terms of genetic material for humans, as well as wealth in terms of minerals and so on. I think if the European Union doesn't move in to help, you are going to see someone else come in and help. And they started. You know that.
China.
So who's China? China is not there. China has no common history with Africa. It's the European Union. And I know that there is plenty of smart. In Europe, to understand the problem and the scale of the problem, Africa is not as little as we see in the maps. That's a bad projection that shows Africa too little. Africa is huge. Lots of good people and good resources. And by now, Africa has lots of educated people. I invite Delft University to open a campus, starting in Northern Africa and going down. So education and, as I discussed with Rekaya, education and the medical field, I think if we address these two sectors, and with the European Union moving in, not moving out and trying to have, for example, Tunisia blocking the migration and so on and so forth. I'm glad that the topic is being addressed, and sorry for the lengthy introduction.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your comments, and it should be also thanks to Koen, our chairman, who wrote the letter to invite Rekaya to come to the Netherlands.
Cool. You can see.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, and we have African presence here, so I'm sure you would like to respond. Well, Adenike, you were here a bit longer, so.
Yeah, I understand the urgency of including Africa in the global arena, because if we actually think about it, Africa is big with a lot of resources, and to include Africa is actually to include the whole world, because if you study the demography in Africa, young people are coming up and there are raw talents, not only academically, but with innovation. So as you can see, to actually give that space to Africa is to uplift the world.
Yeah, to present yourself.
Yeah, to present the future.
Yeah.
So without any doubt, Africa is the future. People can complain about the population and climate change, but there is no, if we are human, there is no way we can stop that. There is no way we can stop that. We can only control as much as we can. Everything cannot be under our control. What we grow, we grow. So for peaceful world, the world have to pay attention to Africa. Thank you very much.
Oh, can you introduce yourself? Can you introduce yourself? Because I know you, but others don't know you. So.
Yeah, my name is Ola Olajide. I'm an activist, environmental activist actually, and I'm also very interested in environment and in a peaceful world. So my activities, my activism is right now in the grassroots with the community, because at the end of the day, when you see it, it's like I'm a link between the elite and the grassroots.
Yeah.
That is what I'm using my foundation to promote. Bottom up policy, so that other people that are not well, that other people, the grassroots can be included in decision making. So say without us, you cannot be us without us. So you cannot make decision without the people that you are making decision with. So that is the gap that that my organization is aspiring to fill.
Where Dr. Ayari is an engineer, you're a biologist, so you studied biology. So it's just.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
I also study conflict management.
Okay, so there's
from
more.
Minnesota State University. So that is what I do.
Yeah. Thank you very much for this platform, and we really welcome you, Rekaya, for coming. I've read a lot about you. You are a strong woman. Thank you for coming, and I really recognize all your good work and your humanity. That's quite good. And we also appreciate the doctor for joining us. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, my name is Adenike Alade, and I'm the project manager at Rekaya Generation, Stichting Rekaya Generation. I'm managing a project about migrant women empowerment. Like when I was growing up, I grew up in Nigeria. I'm originally from Nigeria. Now I'm Dutch by privilege. So when we were growing up in Nigeria, I think then that was the time of British colonial empire time. And I could remember vividly all those privilege we had at that time. Very good life and peaceful environment at that time during the British. I went to Catholic school, which really formed my discipline. Most of our sisters then, as in our teacher, lecturer, they are all British citizens, you know. So I look at that time and compare to the present time. I come to realize that peace can only come from what my mom used to tell me when I was growing up. I asked her because I see that she cooked a lot of food. She cooked a lot of food that is extra. And then I will ask her that, Mommy, why are you cooking so much food that is extra like this? There is one proverb in my language. She will say, Adenike, anyone that will not allow you to eat and get filled up, you have to include them in your cooking. Yeah. So that if there is any visitor that comes at that time, they can also get something. Yeah. So the reason I think European Union should put more effort, as like what Rekaya had said, is there is an impression of the Europe that everyone in Africa has because of media branding. Actually, if you are a family, if you are in a family and none of your family member is in Europe, they see you as a failure because of the impression, what you see in the television, that all these people are very rich. Exactly. Actually, there is gold on the streets of Europe. That was what was shown in the press. Now, when everybody wants to come because back home, I don't want to lose track of this conversation because as we were growing up, things began to change, policy began to change, things started getting complicated. The time I was growing up and the present time, things have really gotten devastated, and the environmental influence, climate change, and many things have happened. And now, during our time when we were in school, there was no corruption. Now, we notice any government that want to live right, wants to do things that are good, like Muritala Muhammad. During the time we were growing up, those ones are not corrupted, but they did not spend 3 months in power. They killed them, they were assassinated. Yeah. People like Michael Sankara. Thomas Sankara, sorry. Yes. He was assassinated. Yeah. So, when things like that happen in Africa, there are a lot of chaos. These are the root cause of why people are migrating, because there are forces behind the instability in Africa. And as far as there is no influence from those forces that are causing chaos and instability in Africa, as far as there is no intervention, a credible intervention and a sincere leadership, I will still continue to go back to what my mom used to say when we were growing up and say, Adenike, if you really want to eat and get filled up, unforeseen visitors that can come, if you cook very small food, unforeseen visitors that can come, they will eat the food and you will not be fed. So what is the meaning of that proverb? In applying that proverb to the case of peace, as far as European Union, they have leadership, a very good leadership. They have management skill. They have the ability to manage things well and sustain resources. That is what they have. But Africa, they have these mineral resources, they have human power. Now, if it should be a case of collaboration, you have good management style and you have good leadership skills. We have natural resources and we have well, some good leaders, because most of the leaders, if they are trying to, if we elect good leaders, they are dead within 3 months. People like Samuel, people like Muritala Mohammed, when we were growing up, we had a very good experience with them. People like Thomas Sankara, we are doing good. So if the Europeans have good leadership style and they have management style, they can now come together. Okay, you Africans, what do you have? You have pure resources, mineral resources and human resources. Now, let's collaborate together. How can we use our management skill and leadership skill that we have used to make our country sustainable and good, going on well? How can we use it to help you? And how can you help us with your human resources? When countries come together in collaboration, not in the mind of suppression, not in the mind of colonialism and injustice, that is when people there, they will be okay in their home domain. People here, they will be fine in their home domain. So in that collaboration sense, there will be no need for the people to come and be thinking of an utopia world. There is no utopia world. You can only get fine when two people collaborate together to bring in their resources and manage each other. Then the wealth will be distributed equally. Everybody will stay where they are. So in order to avoid all the, look, I read news every day. And it's always very devastating for me to hear what is going on all over the world. Just day before yesterday, a guy went to immigration and killed 11 people. I think that is Sweden. You know?
Sweden.
Yes, Sweden. 11 people.
Yeah. They killed in the
question is really, you want Western leadership, you want to combine it with the possibility, the capabilities of Africa. Why there is no capability in Africa to produce leaders?
So that's
what is it? It's so. My brother worked in Algeria. He had the same experience you described. So the country is absolutely religious, either Christian, either Muslim, and or traditional African, and it's all about non-corruption. You go to the church more than, well, in any other country. You hear the message. So what is it? What corrupts in the country? Is it oil? Is it something else? What is it?
No, you know what I'm saying is, it's not as if the good people are not there. But if they are elected, the people that are really capable, if they are elected like Muritala Mohammed that had very good,
you mentioned that.
Yes, within 3 months they are dead.
No, why?
Excuse me.
If
we are to say it with all honesty, it is from foreign influence. I think.
Okay, we have also foreign interference here.
It is, we have foreign influence. It's the foreign influence when if there is a leadership of other places, Like France, for instance, you will hear in the news, they will say, we cannot without Africa. So all this is like, even during the slave trade, how do they come? They come, they meet with the leaders, they got corrupted. When they are corrupted, you know, a lot of, even only one single, for example, Nigeria, only one single Nigeria can go to foreign land and buy, you know, a property equivalent to what we used to build the Start House here. Yeah. You know, and how did they do that? I understand you cannot blame foreigners, you cannot blame Europeans for doing, I mean, if you are in an office, that's why it's very important what we are doing as a civil rights society. Because as a government, your aim is, everything you do is transactional. Your aim in your ministry is to protect your ministry. Yes. Otherwise, what are you there for? If a Netherlands diplomat goes to Ghana, he's there for Ghana. He's there to promote. He's there to promote Netherlands. He's there to promote what can benefit Netherlands. And you cannot blame him for that. He's just doing his work. Yeah. So he may be doing something that is not right, but in transaction, he's doing his work correctly. So it's left, and because there is a power, there's a power imbalances. You know, like America cannot go to Nigerian president, and Nigerian president want to dictate to what America wants to do. What America wants to do in Nigeria, they will do it. Yeah. If you are a leader, if you cannot make it to happen, they can. You only have to sidetrack you to go to another person. So the government cannot stay. It's only through civil society. That's why civil society have to get empowered if there will be peace in the world. Because what is all this thing all about? It is about resources.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
At the end of the day, it is all about resources. And there is enough resources in the world to make the world to go round. Yeah.
But what you're talking about is transformation.
Yes. A priority of each country is different.
So how do
an individual priority as well.
Transformation on humanitarian context.
Yeah.
And not the transactional only.
No.
So how to bring those two together? That's your approach, huh?
That is the best approach.
That's also I'm hearing also that in your excuse me, in your speech.
But it's good that you're trying to mobilize civil society, and that's what we're doing here at our Lind Foundation. Yeah. But you don't have the same power as a certain Musk has. Yeah. You don't have that type of.
That is another aspect. That is another aspect of it. They bring religion. As you can see, all these religion, Christian, Muslim. Okay, originally Yoruba people. Mm-hmm. They say we are from Saudi Arabia, but that was a long history by heritage. Mm. Like when I do my DNA test, I was surprised when they say 0.3 something% Arab. Arab. I was like, I'm Yoruba, how can I be related to Arab? The history says, yes, somebody come from somewhere, he fall from the sky, and all those kind of history, which I don't know. So it's like the religion, both Muslim and Christianity, was brought to Africa. You know, it's not our religion. Africa have their own traditional religion, their own cultural religion that always also is. Religion is part of what is causing all the confusion.
But
that
basically,
is why
it's the same. we got our religion also. It's not to European.
Exactly.
Yeah, we got it also from the Middle East.
Yes. But they use religion to brainwash
Yeah.
more than for developing countries, you know, because those that are civilized, that are more that have more innovation earlier, all what they do is transactional. It's not on humanitarian ground. They are not doing things for humanity.
But case on your remark, you're saying civil society has not the power, right? But what I struggle with, and I really like the opinions. What I struggle with is what we see in governments right now is the opt-out culture, and civil society is like we are one on this little planet, so we need to have an inclusive culture. And what I struggle with is how our leaders, or how the big leaders in the world, wants to create a world where everyone can live when they have their opt-out culture. And I can't see how every country like Africa or the Far East or India, how they can solve their own local difficulties if we are not working together. I can't see it.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
But when you opt out, what is really happening is fragmentation. You're promoting fragmentation with this. And with fragmentation, you can't address all the problems that we're discussing here.
No. Sometimes also mere selfishness.
Yes.
We have now our laborers from the other European countries. If they lose a job, they were they are being thrown on the street. Literally.
But
it's not a matter of hundreds, it's a matter of tens of thousands.
Yeah.
But in my mind, my mind is echoing all these interactions, and my mind at this moment is really sort of blank for a new way, a different way, other than we need to include humanity into our politics and into our economics. But
the trend is different.
So I'm sort of really stuck here.
Yeah.
Help me! Please help me!
I think we start to work with the Dr. Keys. Do you remember that was Omar in England? That is named, this is conference we need to put it and fix it. That's Africa Wake Up, his name. That's Africans people, they have leaders, but what they need is that the other country left them and don't enter in their casserole of this is when you cook it in. They have their private life, they have like culture this comes Christian, they comes from here or from Middle East and they go there and they give money, they don't need, they're so rich of resource what they have, what they need only to left them. That is my opinion.
So we left
they left the colonization, that's economic colonization. Europeans or another country, they economic colonize this country, and they don't like to develop it. Because if they develop it, educated, they know how they share their country. They don't need any person to share for them. If they are leaders, they have competence, they have the person that engineering, doctor, why they need the other to help them. They don't need aid or help, because they give for over the world. Africa, they give for us. I'm from Africa, and I know that a lot of people from my country, they work there. And they successful to have a lot of money from Africa as such here. They colonized them a long time, and they still stay there with their, sorry for that, but their corruption African people. They help them. They give them money to stay in the authority, and they do exploitation for their country and for their people to bet them even for the war mines when they bet them. And this is for the benefit of each country. Which country they have the benefits.
Yes.
We should be clear, not blind eyes. And sorry for that, what we can do we are civil society, we're not weak case. We are so strong.
Yeah.
We have the thousands and thousands of NGO over the world, and we can connect together and put pressure on this political, no in this world. Because we can change the world. I can change one law in Tunisia in 1,400 injured, no one changes it. With only a little of, you have to volunteer to change first, and nothing is impossible to change. Africans, they have a lot of leaders. Here in European, they have a lot of persons, they know that, and they can help. And the NGO in all the world, on the world, they can be connected together and do a very big and huge conference over the world and have the leader of Africa, the leader of Europe, the NGO of over the world, and we put that and go directly for action. This is doctor can go there. The professor, a lot of people, they can go there to educate, and they are volunteers to go there in Africa and to change. We should focus for women, for children, to make women intellectual, and this woman, she can change Africa, because I'm always told without women we can't change anything, and the world is handicapped without Africa, without the leader of Africa. And the people, we should listen for African people, for their dream, for their suffering, for what's happened, what they do, when they are and when they like to go. Because they have a goal like us exactly. And I am from Africa. I'm not only from North Africa, I'm African. And I feel this is my motherland, and like very, obey person, I like obey my mom and do my best for it, for this country.
I fully support you, but I want to give you an example from your own history where it shows that it's not so easy. In 2018, you came to Cairo and we were speaking about the Libya Peace Conference. Remember, you had all the connections in Libya, able to do this, and we went together with Eldert to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the Netherlands.
That's true.
What happened? You wanted to organize a peace conference. You could get all the parties together, but there needed to be a venue in an independent country, not part of Libya. What happened? Do you remember what happened? No, that was not done, because this official of the Libya expert of the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs simply didn't believe that this could work, and he was waiting for what would happen on the ground. He thought that Haftar of Benghazi would take Tripoli, and therefore Libya would unite through military means, and it all didn't happen. It was a failure, but that was his belief. We as civil society were not able to act. Your proposal was good.
We are only us. We don't have the whole connection of any NGO of the world, because here we have hundreds of NGO. In over the world we have thousands and thousands. If we connect together, and we can put pressure, and we can have our goal and catch it. This is what we should do. Don't go alone. You see that if I have alone, any person, he can break me. But if we are together, no one can break us.
But that is true. But now look at the Anna Lindh Foundation, because we are here at a meeting of the Anna Lindh Foundation. How many members do we have in the Anna Lindh Foundation in the Netherlands, Romana?
If you have to.
No. I want to have the answer of Romana. How many do we have now at this moment?
45.
45.
It's not.
That is nothing. So if you want to have an influence in the Netherlands as Anna Lindh Foundation network, you need to make it tenfold in order to have some impact. So I'm glad, Annemieke, that you became a member of the Anne Lint Foundation, but there needs to be many more NGOs who need to join.
But my question is Anne Lint Foundation, it's work in political things, because what
No,
we
it
know
is
is
not.
humanitarian.
No.
That is not, something is wrong here. That's not the way exactly what we will move it. That we will move it through some in NGO that we can talk about political problems and the political leader in the world now, and this something between, like bridge between society, political. We will be the middle between.
The Anne Lint Foundation is an organization with a governmental structure, the board of governors, and there are the national networks in each country. So it is political and civil society working together, and we have both our tasks and we have both our role, and we can do as national networks quite a few things, but not with 45 members. Then you need to have many more members in the Netherlands in order to make an impact on the government. You know that I have personal relations with the Dutch foreign minister, but he is interested in what the Anne Lint Foundation is doing. But what if he looks at the number of members, that's weak.
Sorry, I can't look with blind eyes, or I have look with only a little with my eyes. I should put all the problem on the table, and we talk honestly about what we can do. This is not only one foundation on 54. Over the world, we have thousands and thousands of NGO. They have the same goal. That's make peace in the world. They make fix it everything.
But they're not united.
Like a puzzle. We can connect it with them, and personally, I can connect it with the minimum 100 or 200 foundation over this world, and they can arrive it with us in this foundation if we fix it exactly and be strict way what we are now and where is our goal exactly. This is the most important, to be clean. That's if it's clean, that's we can kiss. Nothing is possible in this life. You know, just
you have to fight for it, of course.
Yeah, I don't really actually think that it depends on the number of members.
Yes.
Because it depends on the power, how we empower ourselves. You know, because when you even look at religion, there is only one Christ, and up till now, we still have Christianity.
Yeah.
So if it's the empowerment, it's the voice, it's how committed individually that we are to the cause. If we are committed, or even only one person, if we are very, very committed, you know, it's like we have meeting now, I'm late. I'm sorry about that, but I'm just using it as an example. You have to put all your priority aside, and really get committed as an activist that this is what we want, this is how we do it, and with that kind of commitment, people that are, if you are working, you are working to sustain yourself, you know, and so you will always put priority there. But if you are putting priority on this our extracurricular activities, there's nothing in this world for a determined mind that we cannot achieve. So it's not how many we are in Netherlands, it's how
I actually want to add something to that, because I think both of you are correct in a sense. Yes, you're correct. It's not just about numbers. It's not just about how many people follow you. But at the end of the day, if Jesus Christ only had a group of 5 people around him that day and it stayed with that, nobody would know about him today.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the thing. But I agree with your what you said about the determination and motivation.
Yeah.
Because if you're determined and motivated, people will see that and they will follow you by themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you
so
need
it's
that.
not about the member, but about
The
how many
energy.
people we can come to, that can come together to know what we are doing and believe in our aspirations.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what I would like to see the outcome of this afternoon, we still have an hour, but is really that we come also with some concrete action from us being here together. What do we do next?
Yeah.
Otherwise, we've had a nice meeting with Rekaya, but then we need to act from
action. Go to
action from this point.
So we can start. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she said something very interesting that about inclusion. That how do we not leave people outside
Behind, yeah.
behind? How do we leave out this issue of opt-out? That's exactly
Who is
what-
not at the table?
Who is not on
Who
the
is
table?
not at the table?
You know, it was recently that the issue of opt-out comes out. What is the cause of the awakeness of the Europeans to not want immigrants again? It started from behavior. It started from some attitude that people will come from another country to want to impose their culture on another people. To want to tell you to include Sharia in the Netherlands. Who does that?
It's crazy.
You understand? But there is one good thing we did, and there is one good testimony a lady gave me. She's actually from Pakistan. And she's one of our volunteers. She told me that one of the things that our organization has done for her is that her mind is being transformed. That before, she doesn't like India. Before, she doesn't like Christians. She's from Pakistan, she's a Muslim. But when she came to us,
Oh, it's the microphone.
so what she learned from our platform changed her perspective. That she loves India now. She now loves even the Christians because she now say that all the things she learned from her youth is not true, because she has the access to relate with them on our platform, and that is where it starts.
Okay.
To change the mind of the people that think they can impose their culture on other people, so that they will not reject them again, should be the focus. Transformation, I think, should be one
But
of
it's
the.
it's not only about not liking and the conditioning from childhood. It's also in people something like greed. We have something and we want more.
Yeah.
And that's from all ages. It's like innate.
Involuntary.
That's in the mind. That's a lack thinking mind. And then we have hatred. That's related to trauma from the very first beginning of humanity.
And that's fear.
And then we have
Of unknown.
and fear-based thinking, that's also the lack mind thinking, is yes, that's a continuous development to help people to pass beyond this, what is it? Ignorance, delusion. Basically, it's delusion.
I think that
But it doesn't solve the political issues, and it doesn't solve the climate issues, and it doesn't solve. So yes, we cannot give it up. We have to reach the hearts of people in order to reach the minds.
Their mind. Yeah.
But it's we need it all.
Yeah.
So what's solution for today?
Yeah, to the solution for today.
Now we have
case-
45 minutes.
Yeah, to the solution.
Not the
Case,
solution,
case
action.
action. That's action for today. We can plan. All of us now, we can plan maybe intercultural dialogue. Or today now we make a plan, a solid plan. Yeah, intercultural or interreligion dialogue, faith dialogue.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
these are the solutions. These are things that we can do.
Let's go into the
You know,
university.
so
Listen for the others.
yeah. Then we invite people, pastors, different religion in Netherlands. We come together. We have a place. Maybe for a weekend, we talk with them. When they what we can bring out, you know. Then we publish it.
Can I add something?
Also
No,
invite people from the ministry.
No,
But
may
you
I?
forget something.
You're
Social
for-
media.
Just
No, you're
Social media is very important.
making a very big mistake.
Okay.
Yes, no, you're making a very big mistake.
Okay.
I am living in a part of The Hague.
Yeah.
And Alice knows the letter that I have just written to the municipality, which has changed in the past 20 years tremendously. It was largely a Dutch group, Dutch citizens from native-born Dutch, and it has changed to people coming from all kinds of cultures into that part, and it's now 70% coming from outside and 30% remaining Dutch native. What is happening is that you have now from the remaining Dutch who are in that part, the majority of the 30%, they are extremely xenophobic, anti-foreigners, and have organized themselves in such a way that the foreigners, the people coming from outside, get simply no voice.
What age?
They will dominate
No,
the
what age?
conversation.
Old.
Because I really believe in dialogue and I really believe in young people.
Yes. No. That is true. No,
That is the theory. But
But
I have
sorry.
neighbors from Greece, and 10 people in one apartment. It's a mess, and there is no dialogue possible.
I know, but-
Yesterday I shook hands with one of them, but they are crazy, and they make people crazy.
Yeah.
And
So that's a
reality.
practical thing.
And then people start voting Mr. Wilders.
Of course
Yes.
they do.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think let's see.
I was in a piece, how do you call it? There were nominees for the World Peace Prize in Amsterdam University. And there were NGOs from Israel and Palestine together. They work together. When you meet them, they are like, they love each other, they're sisters. They don't agree with each other, it's not equal their lives, but they love each other. It was organized by students in Berlin, in other universities in Europe. The students fight, they cannot hear each other. They have their opinions very strongly. It's far from peace. But here, this was organized by young students, and they were all in this area. And they listened. They listened and they listened, and they understood, for that moment at least, that collaboration, there is no way to fight each other towards peace and towards climate equality. And I believe in those young people, I really do. But connecting with them is very difficult, even at my age, while I'm internationally connected, with young people connected. I love her dearly. No, but I think we have to fight them somehow in the difficulty we see.
That is
how maybe-
a good facilitator.
I think we have to, we cannot solve all the problems here, not the problems of The Hague and the Netherlands.
That's
So
what
I think we have to focus more or less on the problem raised here about the Sub-Saharan refugees and Africa.
Yes, but also what we can do as Anna Lindh Foundation in the Netherlands.
Yes.
Because it is
So
Anna
maybe
Lindh Foundation.
we need to maybe write down how we see this problem and how we think what to do. And this cannot be done like in 10 minutes here.
No, but there are a few
If I
things.
may say something as an
Yes.
outsider, an
Yes.
Indian Dutch woman here, I think my experience of Africa and Africans is through the African people that I have met here in the Netherlands. And they are one of the most resilient, hardworking, warm people I've met. And always this question comes to me, you know, when you want to get to solutions and action points, you always have to ask yourself questions. What is happening with these people? You know, who benefits from the wastage of this potential? Who benefits? That's a
Who
question
benefits
in my
from?
mind.
Who benefits
Who
from
benefits
the potential
from
that
the
she
wastage
observed?
of the potential of these
Yeah.
resilient,
Okay.
hardworking, warm people?
Yeah.
That's a question in my mind. And that's something I would like to get answered. And you spoke about leadership and the lack of leadership, but I do believe that's the mindset that needs to be challenged. I believe there's lots of very able leaders in Africa. There's potential for leadership, but where there is a problem is there is a problem for just leadership. That's the difficulty. People want to have power, and whenever power comes into play, that means they want the power of the leadership, but not for the common good of the people, and that remains to be a problem. And I come from a colonized background. India was colonized for many years, and the main strategy of the British in colonizing India was divide and rule. And for me, the solution starts from the unity within Africa.
Yes.
The unity within Africa is very, very important, you know, and who should solve Africa's problems? And I believe definitely the solutions should come from within Africa, and it starts from creative dialogue, creating trust, moving forward from the tribal mentality, and moving towards each other as from different tribes, from different parts of Africa coming together and forming unity. Somehow I believe that's the starting point for transformation. With listening to all these points and the passion, I believe that's where at least my mind is going, is to ask these questions. Who should solve Africa's problems?
But you say that it should come from Africa itself.
Yes.
So what can we
Yes.
do? What can
That's
we
a
do?
very good question. What can you do from this
Yes.
side of the world
Yeah.
with the resources and maybe ideas and a collaborative way of working with Africa? And I do believe there should be a change in the humanitarian system as well. I mean, if you can take a list of the humanitarian organizations in The Hague today, how many of them? They have many common goals, but that's still fragmented work.
Yes.
That's too fragmented.
Yeah.
Then it's fragmented work doesn't bring big solutions in a big way in the political level, in policy making.
Yeah.
So there's also some change, that is a transformation that's required in the humanitarian system, because there are so many well-meaning people here I speak to who want peace, justice, who want equality, who want all of these things, but then there's still some fragmentation there. I think the whole idea of lobbying, you know, working with humanitarian work and then the political, it seems to me something is missing in that piece, and I put across that question, what is that missing piece in the humanitarian system here?
Same thing.
Yeah, that is
It's the same
the same thing is the resources in Africa. That is what is supposed to help Africa to develop, is what is making Africa to go down. Because a lot of companies, it's not about the government alone. It's about also responsibility for companies to take responsibility for their deals. A lot of them will go to Africa after bribing the chief. You know, what you don't have, you don't miss. If they don't expose them to all this, they won't be that corrupt. I'm not making excuses for having bad leadership in Africa, but there is this complex issue about individual complexity. You know, like in a country like Holland, you have the basic need. Most of African people that go into politics is to benefit themselves. So poverty, you know, poverty mentality is the key issue here. If you don't have that poverty mentality, so the mindset have to be changed before any other thing can happen. Everybody has been. That is awareness. What we are creating now, dialogue, awareness, and also supporting the basic. the basic projects that can develop Africa, not from the perspective of profits.
Transaction,
And grabbing, but from the perspective of sustainability, what other people can benefit from. So we can not, there's much as we can do, but the spreading the awareness, talking about it, putting it out there. I mean, I have friends in the government in Nigeria. They can have something today. Even then, they would like to have the kind of security that people that live abroad have. That is also driving the wealth here to here. They steal money. A long time ago, I watched this program where people in the parliament were discussing about some Nigeria, what they call 419, people that are writing women to grab their body and all that. And they were like, now what do we do? And some people, we have to send these people away. They are fraudulent and they were talking like, actually, if we look at what Nigerian government, the privileged ones are coming here, like some people can actually come with Nigerian money, maybe from the aid that they were giving them, and come here and deposit money in the bank without even having an address those days, and they will just leave. And then the Netherlands, they were transparent about it, that they have a lot of money from other people from other countries that are just here. And they were rationalizing that if we look at this, the one that those people are bringing to their country, and the one that these people are frauding to go back, we don't really know, and they work, and some people work and illegal work that they pay taxes, they pay something, they have all these things. So it is a very complicated issue like that.
Yeah.
So the only way that the one that we can help as a civil society.
What we can do is.
Would it be an idea for an Annalyn Foundation? And now Mr. Trump is having pressure on the United Nations.
Yeah.
Having pressure on
International Court of Justice.
And the aid organizations for the world,
Climate.
also and climate, to invite NGOs in the Netherlands for a meeting, because I really wonder how we operate in the Netherlands as NGOs, all with their own funding, all with their own split projects. If it's more necessary than it was to collaborate. Now all structures are broken down for NGOs.
Yeah.
So would that be something for us, and then have the content around consequences and getting to know each other and collaboration?
Yes.
I think this is the goal of the Annalyn Foundation
Yes.
also. But still, for now, I think we should focus on the problem, on the refugee problem. And this is what you say is well, this is what I said. This is the goal of the Annalyn Foundation, and we have just our 60 or what is it, 60 organizations that are members.
45.
45. Okay.
Yeah, but not all are NGOs.
So this is not that much. So our influence is not that big, but we have. But we can have influence, and I think we should, if we focus on this problem. So to me, I think we need to like set up a document of giving the definition of the problem that we have, and maybe send it to all of you to to give your input, and also that we, in that document, we can also mention what can we do about it.
Yeah,
And this is about awareness and so on. And part is already in the presentation.
Yeah.
So maybe
Oh,
the
you want to say
presentation can be
something?
the base of this document.
I think he wants to say something.
Pay attention.
Would you like to talk, Victoria?
Yes. I'm in line with what was just said, and I think I wrote down several things that can be done. Leverage the matter that's coming from the U.S. on dropping aid and so on. We can invite other NGOs and other organizations to have a statement to this regard and to address the fact that aid is very necessary as well as a must in this global society that we live in. So maybe we can work on increasing the membership for the foundation by inviting others, and we put targets of some sort, and everybody can work from their end to meet those targets. The foundation should clearly state or restate its objective so that this invitation is clearly stated so that people will come in without the problem. Yes, we need to, as another step, focus on the Sub-Saharan and the immigration matter, and we should highlight also there is another side of the story that I worked on myself and Rekaya knows about. It's the illegal fishing that comes from Chinese boats on the western side of Africa, and that there is a huge collaboration between bad actors, African actors, and what looks like a civilian Chinese boats. You know, they have about 20,000 boats that are fishing illegally, and I have the document. I documented that illegal fishing myself after a trip that I had with Rekaya to Mauritania. And I think we can highlight that as well as the migration issue. And why the Netherlands? We all know that the Western civilization is somehow is having problems, economic problems. So the Netherlands was first at going to look for spices outside, and that was how the Netherlands led the world at one time economically, right? So the Netherlands can move again. We invite the Netherlands to move again and not to be stuck in this migration and this right-wing type of ideology that you know, it's like putting your head in the sand and don't want to see what's going on around you. So the Netherlands probably is a leader and should be a leader in this subject matter. So the other piece I think that we can focus on is the media and how the media portrays Africa. And obviously, we all know that the media is a powerful tool that is being used the wrong way. And maybe the foundation should take small steps to clarify or to have the media come back to the right path in terms of how we introduce Africa and how we introduce immigrants and why there is no coverage of the Sub-Saharan. The other piece I wanted to highlight why the Netherlands. The Netherlands has somehow a connection to the Sub-Saharan. The Netherlands is the #1 place for engineering water resources. Now, the Sahara is on top of a massive amount of water.
Let's plant trees.
Fresh water. And only, and Rekaya is there to tell you how this water, as soon as we started extracting it, we got mixed with salt and we created trouble because all these trees started dying because of the salt, and simply because people didn't know how to dig for that water. So the people who are dying in that desert, they are dying of thirst, primarily of thirst. Meanwhile, they have so much water underneath that can actually change everything in that Sahara. And if the Netherlands gets in to, and I'm thinking Delft University, gets in to study that water and ways to exploit that water, it should be from an economic perspective, not from just to be nice to these migrants who are dying there. So these are ideas. We should write them down and extract whatever needs to be done. But again, focusing everything so that we address the low-hanging fruit from this meeting, and primarily, I think, inviting other NGOs and addressing the health and highlighting the migrant issues and highlighting the long-term. We work on the long-term solutions, and this is what the meeting, I think, should come up with.
Yeah.
Then may I immediately comment on low-hanging fruit, because you're mentioning Delft University, and we know them. There's a member in our Arne Lind Foundation, the water,
Wavemakers.
Wavemakers. This is all about water, and this is all about Delft University.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
we could very easy, because
because
these are a member of ours, focus on water issues with Wavemakers, bring them in, because they're a member of the Arne Lind Foundation.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good connection.
That's very low hanging fruit. So thank you.
Yes.
If we can connect it with humanitarian context and with climate context.
Yes, of course. This needs to be prepared.
Yeah,
This needs to be prepared, but this can be prepared.
It's open for us that we can move.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We can move all the university of the world.
And the action
Because the
now,
students,
that's
they can change the mentality, you know. That's very strong piece.
They
We
can.
can start walking. Yeah.
They would love to.
Yeah.
They have.
The
They have to
solution
do
backed by
experience
action.
how they
Yes.
change the mentality in their family, their city.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah, they start like this.
This country with all its rain faces in the near future problem of drinking water. You know,
Now already there. It's
already.
It's already
Then
here.
I can connect you to the director.
Okay.
Because
I think we,
women engaged for the common future, their projects
That's
in
one
Africa,
piece
it's
I
from
forget
Europe,
it.
non-
That's all. This is
but
what
it's
we talk
only
about
Africa,
today about the
yes.
Sub-Saharan
It has to be
and North
Sub-Saharan
Africa.
for your
One
focus.
piece is
And
that
not Sub-Saharan.
this
Helemaal.
problem, that's
But-
please, that's for attention. This problem that's make a lot of a pressure in our country in North Africa, because me and Rekaya are from Tunisia. And Tunisia, as you know, we have a very sensitive economic now, and like I asked, is the European Union prioritizing border control over saving life, what I see, this is personal, that's the most important for them than their border. And maybe they are right, that's all countries they like fighting for their border. Also for our country, we have the right to fighting at our border. But the confusion that between to be human or humanitarian or to be to defend your border, and that's make a lot of pressure on our North African countries, not on Tunisia. Those make problem because what thought this country, African countries, this is Tunisia hate them, or Algeria hate them, or but the truth that's another pieces they give money for this country because the economy is so sensitive and so weak. Then if I'm thirsty, like, and someone he give me a little of water too, that's I should do anything. You know, this North African countries except Algeria, of course, they are rich, but the others, what they need to be okay to go out economies, you know. But what's happened? They use them to push the others or to make them in this situation suffering. And that's all they take their responsibility. European Union, the North African, and also for the corrupt person or leaders of Africa. That we should take our responsibility. I feel shame, sorry for Africa. If I can do more than that, I will do without any doubt. But we should make organigram of our work. What's the most important emergency we can do for Africa, and the other we come soon, and we will move all the world for this subject. And thank you so much for today.
To conclude, Craig, yes?
Well, I would like to have, because we have wave makers in Delft, so I would like to go back to them because that is the most concrete part of what we can do.
This is about the water issue in Sahara, but let's first go back to the Sub-Saharan refugee problem, which is the main item today. So we have had a lot of discussion and we have a lot of information. I think we as an Foundation, we have to make a document defining the problem with all the input that we have, and also give this document to the organizations here present to give their input, and then with that document we have to include also what can we do about it. And this is all about creating awareness here, and it's more. It's a lot more. And a lot of things we have already seen in the PowerPoint presentation. So that is one. I think that's the main thing. The second thing of this afternoon is that the Anderlecht Foundation can do a lot more on other issues, like the water problem in Sahara, like the fishing problem maybe. And we have to find NGOs that are into the Anderlecht Foundation that are more focused on that area, because many of them are not, I'm not focused on any water issue just behind the water in the tap of my house. So I think maybe that's the two main things we have to do.
Yes, but I would like to have because everything comes down at this moment to Romana and me, mostly to Romana. So, I have a big problem with Romana because she doesn't have enough time.
Oh.
Yes, yes, I'm complaining here about.
Big problem. What did I do this time?
No. That's your lack of time because there's really too much going on.
Can you read his handwriting? We can help that.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I can read it. It's okay.
You know my handwriting.
I know.
It's not so bad.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay. So what team can be working on? How can we do something as Anderlecht Foundation? We need to have a small group working on this.
That's it.
I think that is good. I think we have base. We have the presentation that we've just
this
seen.
Aya, she did that. Then we can the presentation today that she worked in the picture and everything. That
That you can make some more text on
Secretary
it.
General of Mutual for Humanity, she did that, and I think that if we will move it, students and a lot of volunteers, they will come to work in this subject with the Romana. That's we can. She can get time after. Yeah, coordinator. Yeah.
Yes.
I believe the first thing is to ask that lawyer if you can have a volunteer in your organization.
Oh,
right?
She liked
But
that.
That's not what we
She
started.
didn't need me here.
Yes. But what do you think of that? I think that is the main. That's
The
what
main
we
way
can
to
do.
go about it. Yeah.
Otherwise, we can talk and talk, but we need to define this
To
this
create
problem.
structure.
Yeah.
And to see what can we do about it, because that is
Yes, of course.
That is
That's what we are here for as Annelind.
And
Yeah.
it's obvious you need extra hands. That's obvious.
of course.
Yes.
But I'm warning you, the more extra hands you have,
The more
the
complicated.
more
it
will
be.
come, no, the more will come towards you.
Yes,
And
I
that's
know.
very exciting. But
Exciting.
Exciting, but also
As you said, we
easier to
cannot,
lose focus.
we cannot solve all the problems here. So
Yeah.
we focus
Yeah.
just
No,
on this
yeah,
one
we
problem,
focus
which
that's
is
our-
big enough already, you know.
No more
Yeah.
life lost in desert. This is the
Yes.
most important for me now.
Yes.
No more.
It's
Stop
emergency.
this,
Yes.
the emergency. It's like, really, it's horrible. I can't, I feel shame about that. That
it's
every
so-
moment they die there, and that's not human at all. That's what we need now to stop this
Yes.
emergency. That's what.
I find something very interesting. Wherever I go,
Yeah.
it are the women who
Mhm.
raise their voices right now
Okay,
around
so
this.
we can.
Those
we can just
mothers,
move.
Yes.
even if they're not mothers, but
You
they're
feel
mother
personally
figures.
attacked?
So, yeah.
Yeah,
By not
yeah,
by
we move now.
unity, they are women.
What a power.
Yeah. Women we change the world.
Can
Rekaya?
you have your presentation?
Yes.
Can you send it to
Sorry.
me? Of course.
Yeah, should
Yeah,
we, should we,
Rekaya.
Rekaya.
To this point that was just raised, can we add a témoignage, testimony from an actual migrant? It's best to have a mother
story.
and can we extract something from somewhere in Tunisia, or if anyone has a better idea, I think it should be added to the document.
Yes.
It will give it life and reality.
you know
So
that,
many
that
people
I
from
go there
Africa
to
in the
desert
refugee centers, I
to
know.
see the
Here in the
person
Netherlands.
die there.
Okay,
And
so
the
can
border
you,
of Tunisia, and it was so
You call them all.
horrible days for me. I go personally to see the dead person there, and it was horrible. What I see there, I can't even sleep the night. And this is only for the border of my country. That's if you go through the Algeria, Mali, and this big desert of Libya. I think this
I've
is
met
big
many of
catastrophe.
them
That's- yeah.
here in the refugee
Yeah,
centers.
but
So
the
you can
refugee
easily add
centers
some
and
case
dead
stories.
people in the desert,
Yeah.
they are stores, and the stores that,
Yeah.
and we don't know them because they are not under
No,
control.
Okay.
it's too
So,
good.
so let's have a voice. Let's have a story,
Yeah,
an
Yeah.
actual story with names, with photo,
yeah.
and so on. That's attached to this document.
well,
Okay.
that needs someone going to Ter Apel.
No,
No,
Ter
no.
Apel.
You don't have to go to the Apple. There are
Okay, so-
stories enough here.
Actually, I have connections because I know a few people that work at AZC's.
Hey,
Okay.
By
I
Susan.
have a
Sorry?
direct
Also
connection.
by
I've
Souza. The
Souza
building,
here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I've direct
there are a lot
connection.
of.
Really?
I've worked in the refugee center for years.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. That's the best connection, I
For the
think.
Red Cross.
Oh, okay.
So a neutral,
So you can get-
neutral organization,
Okay, that's
and I
good,
know
yeah.
many of them.
Yeah,
Okay, that's perfect.
And I love
She's
to
a
go
piece-
back, so I will call the director tomorrow.
Okay.
Sandon, a large 600 people there.
Okay, so we agree on this proposal, and then
Yeah, I'm personally agree with that.
Margreet will help with the connection, yes.
I will help also with the document, and Romana will also be the coordinator between getting document, getting the input,
All the input,
sending.
Yeah.
We send our input.
Alden,
Yes.
you will be working on a report on the meeting this afternoon?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would love to have someone who is already here in a position like in one of the universities who came also as refugee.
Ah, because then you
Also,
come
I
from
also-
a refugee
A
until
success story.
Yeah,
success story.
Yeah, yeah. One of my teachers.
That's a good one.
If we
actually,
have too
yeah.
many success stories, then even more people will
No,
come.
no, no, no. No, but you also need some hope.
Yes.
Yeah, but you
And
know,
What we want is
He's
that
right,
success
yeah,
story.
That's what?
We want, that is what Rekaya says. We want Africa to develop, and we want maybe universities from here
That's
up
true.
there, branch in Africa. Yes.
Another thing is for African they succeed. You have a successful story here, or in another European country, they can engage it with us, you know, because they have integrate, and they have some maybe views how they can see their country there. We should listen for them because we are not in their place to decide what
That's
they
true.
do and what they plan, you know, for the future or how their country they will be. That when we really our role to listen for them, to give them space, to treat them like a human like us, you know, and their dream, what they like to be and what they feel, because sometimes the problem is not outside, sometimes the problem inside us, the complex of inferiority. This is psychology things that we need the social science person. They will go there maybe and they give us some conclusion about about each culture there, because they are different, they different language, different culture, even they are the same color, but they are different from country another, and that's we should make all pieces order in organigram, and we know from each maybe pieces we start, or maybe we can share the work for each group. They can to no lose time more, that each group have pieces you work in, and after we can coordinate together and put everything in there like pieces of check, no, every piece in their place. That's when I see that.
But I have a problem, and that is again.
Is it the problem for us?
Yes, it is because I'm really, we're with all activities that are going on, struggling with the amount of hours that are needed that we simply don't have. So yes, these are all good thoughts. There are things that can be done. There are connections. But we are stuck with the limited funding from only the Anna Lindh Foundation, which is very limited for only a couple of hours per week, and otherwise we don't have it. We don't have it.
I can fund you.
You can fund us.
Yes, because we have African a lot of African leaders, women. They have I have 3 women, and they are able to fund for work like this for Africa.
Oh, we can bring.
We can. And we can also search about funding, because if the goals are so clear, that's what we like to do, not only to talk, we go directly for action. A lot of NGO in the world, a lot of company in the world, they can fund us. That is not a problem at all. Key is the most important that we have some document and we can share the documentation, and will be really, this document is not for business.
No.
It's not. It's really for a human. That's I never talk about myself, but when I like to do something, I prepare my views, and when I go to talk with people, always that's zero moment or 0 time I didn't success, because what I talk about, that's really what I like to catch it. This is my goal, to go through the goal directly and so honest, so clear, so organized, and that's maybe my power for here, to make the other listen and see and make the picture when we are and when we go.
So when can we have our report ready so that we can go to the next step? How long would it take? No, I'm sorry, but I know this because it is pure.
Depend our volunteer called volunteer. That is not volunteer.
Our voluntary efforts.
Voluntary efforts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's also why we have to limit this whole problem to,
Yes.
to this subject, and not more, because you will find funding for
No.
helping Africa.
No, no, Koen. It is what Dr. Ayari said. It is the low-hanging fruit, and one of the very low-hanging is wave makers. That's Delft University, and they're part.
That's a different subject.
Yes, but it is
Well,
rather.
we are focusing on the subject of the refugees in the Sahara. We're not focusing on the water project.
Yeah.
I want to ask a question, please.
Yeah.
Is this the
No.
problem
So
statement?
interconnected.
Is this the problem
Yeah,
statement?
what is the
This
problem
is
statement?
Is it the problem
Yes.
statement?
this is yes.
Okay,
Okay.
because if I'm right, I just want to know the problem
Yeah.
statement so that.
Yeah, it is.
I
It
have
is.
another
It's the title and the statement.
question
What the whole
as well.
subject is
The
about.
thing, Albert, it's interconnected. So
Yes, but we have to focus on one
They are
thing.
victim and
If you ask for funding, you have to ask for very specific, and not
We
for
said
fishing problem, the water problem, the refugee
Yeah,
problem.
I can send it to you. No
We talk
problem.
about it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll do it after.
Okay, I think we can conclude, or not? Okay, so
Yes.
you will not.
No, because I do not fully agree with you because yes, you should. It's the refugee. It is making sure that they don't die in the desert. So that's all true. But if you speak about low-hanging fruit, so the two don't need. It's not one or the other. You can do both. And the second one, because it is so low-hanging, the wave makers, it is not really much time because they are already fully equipped
But
for
it's a
this.
different subject.
They are fully equipped. They are fully equipped.
Okay. I had back talk, meanwhile,
Okay,
with my
yes.
neighbor,
Yes.
and I agree completely with him. What I really like were the many aspects that came on the table.
Mhm.
And many aspects have many sides to enter.
Yeah, that's-
So let's enter from more multiple sides and not only restrict ourselves from one viewpoint. That will be missing something. Let's try it, and we will, because everything is interconnected, and there will be no way we can avoid this very important, very important humanitarian part for which we were invited.
But
We cannot avoid.
we cannot solve all the problems of Africa.
No, but we might
No,
find.
but in order to
And I
understand
agree.
this problem,
Yes.
you
Yes.
have to discuss a lot of other
Yes,
things.
but this must be the focus point.
That is the focus
That
point.
is
But
the thing.
But
it's interconnected with a lot of other things.
And an
And
entering
you cannot
point.
solve this without ignoring this connection.
Romana,
Yeah, I'm trying
please,
to.
would you
And
send
an
this,
entering point.
would you send this?
The presentation? Yeah.
Yes.
It is going to stay on
But
YouTube,
it-
the live, will it?
No,
The live will stay, but I think she wants the presentation that
Yes,
was.
I want the, I
But the
want
goal
her
is
to
not
send
to
me
get
the
funding. The
presentation.
goal is
So that can be
to
a-
solve this
Please
problem.
send me.
Can you hear us now?
One question
Yes.
though.
Here you go.
Can you
I
hear
agree
us?
about
We are
that.
talking
Yes,
about the
also.
solutions to help.
I would like this
funding,
not
we
with
cannot
me
go
because
anywhere.
Because
but
we
it's really chaotic.
And each
She has a
I
question.
have
Ah,
a question
yes,
because
yes.
when you were talking about this specific problem, then you said, okay, the solution can come through technical knowledge that the Netherlands can give in terms of water. I'm also thinking what kind of solutions can be at the source. You know, are there any resources available for people who are thinking to make this trip? Are there organizations who are there where they can get resources saying this is a dangerous trip, this is not promised land, this can have so many,
That's very important.
and
Yeah.
that,
I don't
that kind
know.
of is
Changing
there-
the
is there-
narrative.
yes, changing
Yes.
and helping them think about this big decision that they're
Yes.
going to make. Can they have information? Can they have,
Yeah.
you know, a place to just
yeah.
have that dialogue?
That would be
Is that
very
available?
useful.
Yeah,
I
because
don't know. I don't
And
have
that's my
any
also,
information
that's
about
also
That's
my
actually a very
own
good point,
focus.
because didn't you say that on the news that they had
Yes.
gold in the
Yes.
promised land or whatever?
Yeah, on TV when we were growing up, you see the vision of Europe through the media. Oh, if you go to Europe,
But this is one of the
You'll be
main
so
things
rich,
that
yeah.
should be in the
So-
solutions.
Yes, so like what I'm thinking about is if we can collaborate with media, the mainstream media in Africa, to present the true situation and to talk about it on the TV. We can sponsor the TV show to bring all these documents, or even invite the real people that have negative experience. I know people that have they've lost their family as a result of this desperate journey. They call it desperate journey. So we can make a documentary in the North Africa on the main media, sponsor it because also they want money, and then the people that have had gone through this experience could be invited. We collect interviews like
short documentation.
Short documentation with film, and then we stream it on like 5 countries. That would reduce, and also going to refugee camps.
And ask there and reported some documentation.
Even if you go to the, as it says here in the Netherlands, if the people in Africa see the situation over here, they will know that
what is the process? What is it to become a refugee, and what goes on? I think that seems to be very hidden and very shocking when people. But I don't know if that would be opening that would be.
No.
I think that
because I know a village in Egypt, and I know a very large number of youth that have left that village for mostly Greece, because all these young men knew about the opportunity in Greece, so they were informing each other. They went through, from one village, and they went through dangerous countries like Syria and Turkey with the war situation, and people died on the way trying to get to Greece. They nevertheless went because there is a whole problem in that village of lack of land. They couldn't continue in the land of their fathers because it was already too small. There was no way of making a living. So if you cannot make a living in your own village, then you go.
That is Egypt, and it is a mild problem compared to people from Sudan.
Yes, correct.
Correct. Eritrea, or for that matter, Burkina Faso.
But I know it in Egypt from one particular village.
If Africans see the refugee in the good situation, they will come. But the right way that we go to the North Africa and document it there from the desert, from they go there through the desert and make a little film, maybe documented how, if you know those traffics, or we should know them, and we go to go through the desert of Mali, and in the place them when they go to North Africa, and how they cross this street with traffic or walking, and there we can go. We can document it, how the people die there and how they are in North Africa and they suffer it because there are no system of asylum, no system of refugee.
Who does need to do the?
We can find volunteers, and they have some persons. They documented that, and I see that. We should only put a little bit to search about these people they documented, because I see how documented even the refugee when they go through their city, they documented with their phone. And I have some picture, I put it here, and they have another video of that, how they documented when they go through the desert, and if some of the people die near them, they take picture from their phone, and they documented that. We just collect these pieces together to make a film about that. We don't need to.
Well, it's not for now, but everything in me is sort of contracting here. So there is something in me I need to look into, and it has to do with safety. Can we, if you do something like this, can we protect the people who will be involved? So, but I have to look in me.
No, we don't go in person. What I
Yeah,
told that some refugees.
but still.
It would be good to have this documentary, but
Yeah.
it's not enough because you also told
The
that people are
statement of
still
documenting
going
people
while they
dying
know the risk.
doesn't-
But the situation at home is that worse that they
Yes.
it is going there and die or not.
Yes.
So it's
power.
not enough.
It's
Well,
risky
against
for
power.
it's risky for us, or
Yeah.
what you mean exactly?
I mean that the people
And
that
I'm not sure
from
if
the
people
from the
will-
Sub-Saharan
if we can-
countries,
Yeah.
It's
Nor
not.
their families.
if they know the risks that they
Yeah.
have,
Very
it's
huge.
much
But
more.
it's
There are a lot of
This is my-
documentation
No,
about
two
this.
different
They still go
discussions
because they
with-
think,
with-
well, everything is better than we have now.
Yeah.
And they take the risk. So it's not enough to show only the risk.
Yeah,
The more-
that's true. Maybe for
The
this
development
it's
of
true. But
what you say
I-
about universities and developing the countries
Yeah.
is
Opportunities.
way,
Yes.
is way more
For them
needed.
to
But
have
on the short term,
opportunities
this is a very good.
And also, I have another thinking. You know, I was listening to Vina when she asked a question that that she has met a lot of Africans that are warm, very entrepreneurial by nature. She said, who benefits from that potential? So, also, it could be two-way solution. Prevention and also creating the people that are here already, because that's what we focus on. Okay, what about the people that are here already instead of them, because most of them are desperate to stay, and there are gaps also in the system. There is gap in I just got an email. Have you got the email? I sent you one email from people. They want to develop people. They want
Healthcare.
people that can go into Marvel in healthcare sector. And with that Marvel uplighting, they can help the old people. So instead of them to become like illegal, because there are a lot of issues in the system. When people become illegal, they are not productive to the system. They become criminals.
Yeah.
So so that's the origin of criminality of the migrants, because they don't want to go back and they are here already. So what they find a way of getting this in the system, and then they want to survive, because when people are pushed to survival level, they will do anything.
Yeah.
They will
Yes.
do anything.
Yeah.
So then when they become they don't have paper to work again in the system because they have become illegal. So they want to survive. Therefore, they become criminal, go and rob people in their homes and all kind of things. So, like those kind of people that are here before their paper gets elapsed, like before their paper gets due, we can form a coalition to go and be speaking. We have work for you. Are you ready to learn Dutch? We can help you to get the MBO, because there is MBO already now that is being sponsored by the Gebete to help the old people. There is shortage in the care sessions. There is shortage in HORECA. There is shortage in construction.
Also
So-
the teaching field.
And in the teaching field. So these people that are here already before they become illegal, how can we make them to learn Dutch and bring tax to the system and be also a contributor to the system? Because it's not all of them that are criminal. They only become criminal when they don't want to go back and they become illegal and they are looking for means of
Survival.
I think
survival.
this is a
Yeah.
different subject compared to.
this.
It will not help to that less people die in the Sahara. So maybe this is something for another meeting.
Yes, and
Another
I
magic
would like to,
solution.
because it's now 5 o'clock.
Yeah, we have
So,
to-
Yeah,
so,
it's-
so,
it's
no,
only
there's one question, and that is about the report. So you have volunteered
Yeah.
to make the report, which we much appreciate. So before we started, when could you have the report ready? And with the recommendations, and then we can have another meeting whenever, and then we can then see what is.
Have a follow-up,
Yeah,
yeah.
follow up.
In summary, okay, let's discuss after.
Yes.
I'm going to get some data because I also need
The presentation.
the presentation to get the data and data.
Yeah.
Yes, and then we discuss maybe
We can
tomorrow.
send email.
By Monday we
No,
should be able
on-
to
on
collate everything.
tomorrow Saturday.
Tomorrow Saturday.
On Monday morning, on Monday morning we are both
talking
here.
about everything,
Okay.
So
but
we
we
can-
don't
we
talk
can-
about
Yeah.
the visa.
Okay.
The visa. I think that this problem is named the system of visa in the world that's make those people suffer. Because if each country give to enter normal for 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, that's if you don't back yourself, make yourself back, that's they can after they can never allow to back again for this country. I think that all people that comes, they see the heaven and they back for their country without without effort to cross this desert or suffer from death or for thirsty or for anything. I think the system of visa, it's really that's we should find the solution for this too. And I'm suffer for the same problem too.
Yes, I know.
You have a point.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you all very much for your contribution.
Listen, Dr. Jan is here.
Een big
The final word is
It was. Thank you very much for the invite. I loved the meeting, and I think it's a huge success. I'm glad to have met you all, and I need to excuse myself to go to another commitment. So, sign, please, Keith, Dr. Keith, you can sign me up.
Please, can we ask you for a favor? That is for the Annelien Foundation. Can you provide a response for the evaluation form? Romana will send this to you because that is what is
You bet,
required.
you bet.
What is required for the organization?
Not today.
You bet. That
Yeah.
and more. You may sign me up for other activities as well. My own organization. I have it's called the Witness Al-Shahad. You know about it, Keith.
Yes.
So it will join. It will join this umbrella. I think it's a force of good.
Most welcome.
We will.
Most welcome.
Yeah, most
Yes.
welcome.
You're most welcome to join the Annelien Foundation.
I'm the director
Yes.
of the Shared Witness. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Don't.
Hey, we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Yes.
Ja.
Okay. Afsluiten.
Graag.
Ja.